So we're just going to paint on first of all. I'm just painting it on. I can blend this in a moment to make sure it's a little bit less severe if I need to.
Really need to wax
So this is one of those things whereby your poor client thinks, my God, how many spots do I have? Well, that's okay, if it is, that's fine. This looks delightful so far. Just to blend it in. I do not want to blend it in so much that the colour disappears, because if the colour disappears, I've basically wiped it off again. Okay?
You should be able to see a little bit.
A little bit of a hint of colour, but if you imagine if I left it as it was, that would be really hard to cover with the foundation, wouldn't it? It would show through. Okay. So any patchiness,
Sorry.
poor Debbie, she's just amazed about makeup.
Made a difference though, hasn't it?
Yeah, made a difference. I didn't say Janet did. Look at me.
I didn't say a word, Hannah.
Exactly, Janet.
Blue.
I hope there's not.
So just in the corners of the eye, this is a really common place in here. She doesn't actually have that much darkness under here, does she? But it's just in here where the skin is thinner and the blood vessels show through. Vessels, Debbie, blood vessels. I'm talking specifically veins.
Could you put
As
that
part of the
over
vascular
here
system.
As well, on the eyelid?
Wiping away the green residue. If you end up with thousands of brushes, you can change brush, obviously. Brush for every eventuality.
Huge.
It's not very nice though, but it's there.
Okay, so a little bit of peach. Bit pop when you cross.
Hannah looks good in camera.
She looks lovely. Never seen look so beautiful.
Now the lighting that we're doing this in is very harsh. There's a huge amount to make allowances for that. Remember what we said about the photographic, that things would always be heavier and darker. We're not going to do that because that's not what we're aiming for, but are different colours. Remember, not everyone is that colour, or that colour. We mix, remember, to get the shades we want. So again, if you are a real focus on makeup, or if you're working in a salon where they have a massive makeup range, you'll have a wide variety of shades like you would in the shops. But you can probably get near enough the right colour for most people from a mixture of these depending on amount. So a little bit of that one with more of that one, or whatever. So I'm going to just put a small amount of this in there first of all, and all we're going to do is see how close to her natural skin colour this is, and then from there we can decide, do we need it lighter, darker, what we're going to mix with it, or sometimes if you're really lucky it's just perfect first time. Okay. You are aiming for the foundation to be the exact colour, and you'll know if it is because when you rub it in it will disappear. So that is what you're aiming for. You're aiming to not be able to see it, which sounds really bizarre. Okay, so just turn your head as far that way as you can for me. So we've got a nice clear patch of skin here. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of that on her, and I'm going to try and rub it in. Now my point with that is, can you still see it?
Yeah.
Just sit up a minute, Hannah, for me, and turn your head. That has not disappeared into her skin. It's not far off. And then you can either use a spatula. Thank you, whoever was about to help me there. Cotton bud, give it a mix. And we'll see how we go. So, it's fine. Just test a little bit more.
Yeah, that's better.
Can we see it? Has it disappeared?
Yeah.
Disappear. Happy? Just start on the forehead. So you're going to put a little bit on and blend outwards. Always try and get it up to the hairline. And if your client has a headband on it, how many of you do this in facial? Cleanse everything and then they've got a bit of foundation left or a bit of kind of bit that you haven't done. Especially if they've got a hairline like mine that's a bit like that. Okay? Okay. So we're going out to the sides. We're then going to come down the face. Why am I coming down the face? Why am I doing this way? I'm going to apply like this, down the face.
Because you're going to go into the neck.
I am, but that's not the reason. What have you got all over your face? Hair. So those vellus hairs, if you go up, it collects all the makeup. Very good.
I'm just like, you're like her.
Yeah.
Green
Don't
stuff.
know. That's what I was thinking. Green stuff.
Oh, God.
And it's so much like you're putting very light bit on, isn't it? Not
We're
a
not
lot.
caking.
I
Don't
know.
get like this when you get
It's
TikTok.
good though, isn't it?
Too. I like it's like it's too big. It's more natural looking now.
Yeah, it looks natural now.
Now we're bearing in mind I've got a slight mark here from where we tried the foundation that was too dark. So always try and get that blended in.
Really? Looking off out there.
Really?
If anything exciting happens, we'll leave Hannah and go and look.
Yeah.
It's all round here, the sides of the ears and under that jawline, round the corners of the nose, through the eyebrows. It's not all collecting. Okay, so you're just checking those areas. This over the areas that still need some coverage. Can we see the green anymore?
No.
So that's a good thing, isn't it? So hop on and let's sit for a minute.
It can be done as well with green? Or
No,
what?
definitely
Just
not at
with-
this stage.
Just with
Always a shade lighter. Is that a shade lighter? Yeah. That's why it's a good colour match.
glasses on
Oh, they're in the bag.
Go get them.
So this again is the point at which your client thinks, how many spots have I got? We're not suggesting she's got loads of spots. We're just any bit that still shows through. And it's not always very successful. It's like a little, like talc. Okay. Did you notice it had a little seal sticker on top? So I took that off. Okay, so you're just going to dust a little bit onto your palette. Just like talc, like I said. If you need a bit more, you can have a bit more.
She just shook out the powder. Like talc.
Like talc. Cotton wool. The idea is to prop it into the powder, and we are going to press and roll, girls.
I was
Press and
going to say
roll.
that was sponge got like this.
Press and roll.
Oh,
So we're going to start on her forehead, close your client's eyes, and we're going to press all over. Okay, you are sealing your makeup, remember. So if you just get a powder brush and go,
half it goes off.
it's going to fly everywhere. It's not going to, it'll just sit on the surface. So we're doing a press and roll. Don't worry if it looks a bit like this, because that's when you use your brush to get the excess off, okay? So we're going to come round. I don't want to see people wipe. We're not wiping because that will wipe away what you've just done. So it's a press and roll action, okay? Powder brush. Okay. The idea with this one is that you're then going to again. See anybody blowing on their brushes? No blowing. High
I'm not allowed to suck, lick, or blow.
No sucking, licking, or blowing down. She's really rude today, isn't she?
Sam.
No, I
She's
was,
really rude.
I was talking about the
Can't you do that on your hand?
You're not going to. Just turn your head that way from me, darling. Thank you. We'll start off by doing the contour line down her cheek, which is what we want to try and do if we want a bit of a cheekbone look. The apple of the cheek is not quite so common at the moment. Okay, more of a cheekbone look. So you're going to follow the facial hair as we said last week. So we're going to start at the top and we're going to work in a downwards direction. What you're not going to do is this on your client, okay? So we're going to start up here and we're just going to apply a little bit on top of the cheekbone in a downward fashion. I'm starting at the temples here and just taking it downwards. Now you can just put a little bit of colour onto your client, so literally that's a little bit of colour, okay? Because not everyone wants to have loads of blusher on it, and if your client has a lot of natural redness, these ladies for example, I can see them with their flushed cheeks where their makeup's come off now, that natural redness will shine through. They perhaps don't want a lot more attention drawn to that area, but they might, it's up to them. Off with our neutral colour all over. What I'm hoping, Janet, which is normally the case when I demonstrate this, is that I'll do one eye, and then what I'm really hoping is that you'll make the second eye look so much better than I do, which usually happens. Especially today, you've got the advantage of me being really poorly today. Close her eye, and then place a tissue over the area. You are literally just going to apply all the way down to the eyelashes and all the way up to the eyebrows, the neutral colour. And of course it doesn't have to look dramatic, it's just about how you do it.
When I was at Colours, I asked if we were model to be someone called Twiggy.
Someone called Twiggy.
Oh, Twiggy.
You know who that is?
Yeah. She was a very famous model.
I don't actually know who she is.
She has massive eyes, and she was very 1960s, so they used to do lots of painted on mascara and really massive black eyes.
Oh, you've got big eyes.
I can imagine why they picked you though. Can you imagine why they picked her before me? You can see where the crease in her eyelid is.
What's the V?
Going through the crease and then down over the lash line. Okay. So what I'm going to do, before she closes her eyes, to keep it open, is I'm just going to do a little dot so I know where her crease line is. Because sometimes with some people it's still really obvious when their eyes are closed, but with others it's not. Okay. Particularly your Oriental clients, they have very flat eyelids, so when they close their eyes you can't colour now my pink that we chose, and I'm literally just going to dust that onto the lid. So below that socket line, all the way down to her lashes. And again I can put just a tiny touch on, or I could put a lot more on. So she's got, and I would start, your package actually says, I noticed, start on the inside corner. Well, I'd never start there because you might not need to be doing the inside corner. So we'll start on the outside corner. And I'm going to feather the line.
So if you have
Okay,
big
and
eyes,
then open, look up to the ceiling.
do you just put it underneath or top?
Sorry, it's like
You've got big wide eyes.
Down here, it makes the illusion that they're bigger.
Yeah, if you
If
go
you
up.
encircle the eye, it makes it look smaller.
So if you go half, what is that? What half is then?
Yeah, but I think that looks awful anyway.
If you do it all around, I don't like it.
Air into it is much more likely to dry out.
Oh.
Okay?
Tip of the day.
That was
I didn't know. Something again, but
you are much better off encircling your mascara wand
Oh,
in the
okay.
tube to get it properly coated, and then when you bring it out you wipe off the excess. The bottom lashes, so you get top and bottom lashes together, and then using your mascara wand you can brush down like you're tinting them. Yeah, I'm glad I've just daubed her around the album and show you something because I've just done that. So okay, so you can brush down. Yeah, not spat on though.
Yeah, she's sucking on it.
Okay, and then you can curl underneath.
That's a big one.
Okay, so once you've got some mascara, lip liner then, again sharpen for each client, on the line, right side, on the line, right side. I'm not going to do that side because
Oh, that's
Janet
going on quite well, isn't it?
Okay, yeah, they're going
Better than I
nicely,
thought.
yeah.
No, I haven't tried them either.
And then you're gradually feathering.
That's like how a kid not to eat sweets.
Okay,
Don't eat them down the sweets like this.
down to the corner. Now Poppy and someone's going to just follow the lip line around on the outer corner. Now one of the things you have to be careful of.
We should go buttons.
Buttons will come to